Hey, what to do?
How you? I'm good. Looking to see what we chatting about tonight.
A little bit
What you got on the brain?
just a little bit of nothing. Just a little bit of nothing. Trying to yeah, just a little bit of nothing. Just trying to make sure that I'm in tune with the culture. You see,
Okay.
um, you see up in the see up in the thing, the end of the title, I put culture, morals versus culture.
Morals versus culture. Okay.
Yeah, morals versus culture. So and what sparked me was I had been wanting to talk for a couple of days. I've been kind of busy, but I had been wanting to get with it for a couple of days and see, like, what's the young man name that fell out on the field or when the cardiac arrest?
Uh, um, what was his name? Start with a D. DH was his initials, if I ain't mistaken. Hold on 1 minute.
You know, I can't say it too well.
Well, let me get it right. I want to make sure I say it right. Damar Hamlin.
Damar Ham,
Damar Hamlin. Yeah.
yeah, Damar Hamlin. Last week or so, in a game, a tackle, cardiac arrest. I guess they didn't know what it was at the time.
Right.
They didn't know what it was at the time. However, the other gentleman, this gentleman named Skip Bayless,
Yeah.
on Undisputed, on FS1, Fox Sports One.
Uh-huh.
Skip Bayless tweeted, um, and people thought he thought it was insensitive.
Right.
Now I don't agree with a bunch, that Skip do sometime or whatnot. However, you're on a platform to cause a buzz. I guess that's what the network wants. But he did this on his own time. He tweeted this. He wasn't at work, whatnot. He tweeted
Right.
that,
So
so do
this
you
had
have
nothing to do with work, right?
right? He had nothing to do with work. Do you have the tweet?
Do I have the tweet that he sent out? Let me see. Let me go grab it. Let me go grab
Do
that
you, do
tweet.
you have a tweet? Because I don't want to get the mixing the words up. I don't want to get the mixing the words up wrong, but still I don't feel as if in this instance that he was trying to be malice. I mean, it was a question that honestly had to be asked. It honestly had to be answered at some point in time.
It
You know,
honestly had to be asked on the on the
yeah,
on
how,
a
because
on a worldwide platform,
yeah, I mean, well,
and it had to be asked by him on his personal Twitter.
no, but I'm saying, but it was a question that was going to be asked. Okay, well, how are they going to do this?
Right.
And it's still being asked. So, and if I'm not mistaken, that they had said when the young man woke up, got to where, he regained, focus and consciousness. They said the first thing he asked, who won the game? He even was expecting for the game to keep going.
Okay, because he had almost gotten his life knocked out of him, so he was probably picking up right where he reconnected to. But Skip Bayless, let's talk about the tweet. You asked me what the tweet was, right?
Right. What was the tweet?
It said, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of the game. But how? With a question mark. This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. That
So
was the
what was
tweet.
he saying was which suddenly seemed so? He said the game
The
seemed.
importance of the game, the importance of the game suddenly seems so irrelevant with the thought or the prospect of them having to postpone the game this late in the season. To postpone the game this late in the season would be crucial.
So
So,
what did you read? Cause you're not a football player, or you're
right,
like, so you're coming from an unbiased point of view,
totally. I'm just reading the words that he
right?
wrote.
So what do you read in between them lines right there? What like if you reading this like us? Because when we talked about it earlier today and I mentioned it to you, you had no idea what it was.
Right.
So what does that say to you, just an unsuspecting person? What does that tweet say to you?
That tweet says to me that my concern is that we get refocused back on the game because it is just as crucial and vital. Whatever has happened should not take precedence over the game and us finishing out the season. That's what I took from the meaning of his tweet.
Yeah, and what part of the tweet that you started to rationalize that?
At what point did I start to bring that to the full circle?
Yeah.
Let me go back to it. Hold on. Let me get
right.
back.
You know, like the pastor saying, you know, like a pastor, I want to give the words to the text analytical treatment.
Okay, here we go. So he says, this late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. So how he wrote this, let me go back to the beginning of the quote. The beginning of the quote is, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game. It's a statement with a hyphen. You know, right. I'm a writer. Doubt. I'm a writer. So I read, not only am I reading the words, I'm reading the symbols that he used in his tweet because they mean something as well, right?
Oh, he got some symbols in it?
Yeah. He has that statement. No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game with a dash, but how? With a question mark. So he's saying no doubt that's what they're considering. There's no doubt in his mind that they are considering postponing the rest of this game. But how? How are we going to do that? Right. That's what I read from the first sentence.
So let's stay right down on the first sentence. He said, there's no doubt that the NFL is considering.
Right.
Meaning, so now we could read it like, if it were him, he wouldn't even consider this. He said, no doubt.
I don't get that from that statement. Okay. I don't see how you get that from the statement. He's just making a statement.
Could it be? I ain't saying I get it. I'm just saying, could it be read that way just from the first sentence?
Ask that question again. Can it be read what way again? Give it back again.
He said there's no doubt that the NFL is considering canceling, postponing
the rest of this game.
The rest of this game. He said there's no doubt that the NFL.
Right.
Meaning that if it was him, he wouldn't be considering it.
That cannot be what he meant because there is a hyphen and there is a but how. So in his mind, he can't even conceive how. He cannot be meaning that if it was up to him, he could understand. But what he's saying is, I don't understand how. I get that's what you might be considering, NFL, but I don't understand how.
Right.
So no, I don't think it goes with your theory.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready to go to the second sentence?
Let's go to the second sentence.
Okay. Second sentence. This late in the season, a game of this magnitude, that means a game this big, right?
Right.
Is crucial to the regular season outcome. It's crucial, indicating critical, indicating it is of great importance. It's crucial, right?
Right.
To this regular season outcome, ... He has ellipsis. Okay. Then it says,
what's ellipsis?
Those little dots. You know when you're thinking ...
Right.
Yeah.
I ain't know what that was.
I'm a writer, so that I'm reading it all. I'm reading everything. Okay. So he says, this late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome ... which suddenly, like sudden means it came out of nowhere, right? Seems so irrelevant. Who said it's irrelevant? Who was making it irrelevant? Who said it's irrelevant? Because something has taken priority over something else doesn't make it irrelevant. It means a higher priority has come.
It suddenly seems so irrelevant.
Who told you it was suddenly irrelevant? Who said that the season's outcome was irrelevant? Who said that we're not focused or paying attention to the fact that this has happened at this crucial time in the season? Why again is it not that something has taken priority over something else, not that it's not important?
So what would have happened if the NFL played the game, finished the game?
What would have happened is they would have finished the game. The issue here is the lack of sensitivity to the human that was impacted. What it is that when is it not about a game anymore? Because now it's no longer fun when somebody's fighting for their life on the field. When does it become about that person, the person, and not about how we end this game?
Right. So you think that he was just insensitive?
I absolutely think that was insensitive. I think it was insensitive. I think it was reckless. I think it was careless. I think it was irresponsible. And I think it was injurious.
Wow. Those are a lot of adjectives.
I think it was all of that.
Those are a lot of adjectives. I'm saying, so I'm just like, because I don't, like, now coming from a football perspective, that's why I wanted to get your perspective first. For those who have played the game for real, those who understand the game for real. So I don't think Skip really played the game, but it's a next man up mentality.
That's important. That's really important what you just said.
Right. It's a next man up mentality. That's what they what ball play, like, hey, one go down, next man up. You waiting on your opportunity.
Yeah. One man go down because he took a hard hit versus one man go down because his soul got knocked out his body and we got to bring him back to life.
Nah, but it wasn't even a hard hit. See, that's the thing. It wasn't even a hard hit. It wasn't even, it was just, it was a normal little tap. It wasn't even a bang bang.
What I understood it to be was that he took a hit to the chest with the helmet straight to the chest, hard impact to your midsection. So just in speaking, they say when you're training in law enforcement, they don't train to kill, they train to stop. And how do you stop? You hit in the midsection area because that's where all your vital organs are. So when you're training on that field in football and you duck that helmet down and you lift that shoulder up and you run it in, well, if it's a helmet that hits a person's chest, then that impact is right in that area where you stop a human being, where you can stop a human being.
It's a little different. It's a little different.
It's about the impact. It's about the impact. It's about the distance. It's about the size. All of that mattered. So what happened was he didn't just take a hit and have to be carried on the stretcher out or, have to catch his. They had to resuscitate the man.
Yeah, right. And they had, and it has happened on the field before, but like it may have cardiac arrest. That he could have been walking to the locker room and it happened.
But he wasn't. That wasn't if the queen had balls, she'd be king. That's if. We're not playing with the if. We're playing with the facts of the reality that happened in this particular case that Mr. Bayless felt comfortable to respond to in that fashion right at that time. It's a thing called bedside manner. It's bedside manner.
Right. So let's talk. So now in his state, and I ain't trying to, first of all, I ain't trying to defend Skip. I'm not trying to defend Skip.
Okay.
But in his sport, he's a reporter. No, he's a journalist. That's a sport to them.
Yes.
And it's always about being first. And you will hear him when he say, you know what, I first guessed this, not second guessed this. I first guessed this. So him tweeting, trying to be first, one of the first to have a tweet that coincide with this incident. I think he's guilty of, trying to be first. I think he's guilty of that.
It's amazing you say that. I
I do.
agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think that's a cultural thing. I think that's a Skip thing. When I say cultural thing, for instance, there's an old Indian proverb where they speak about before an Indian chief will respond to a question, he thinks first. He slows down to breathe and let it travel through his spirit before having a response. So when you want to be so quick just to be first, just to beat somebody else, just to be faster, quicker than, get it out faster for the sensationalization of the people, well, you made a bad move in this particular case. And I
Right. And
think he
that's
should
the
own it,
journey.
but he's not even owning it. He's doubling down.
But that's the journey. So that means you done did your research then.
You
Because
listen, you know you don't give me nothing and I don't do the research. I don't went in.
double down on it, and you done got me back. See now you done fast forward me way to a whole nother point I was waiting to get to, but you done fast forward me to how you did double down. But because when Shannon Sharp came on the show, and I don't want to rush the conversation too fast, I want to make sure I hit certain
Yeah,
points
we're gonna get to
with you.
every point. We here.
Because I want to get to certain points with you. Because Shannon didn't go to the show the next day. He didn't show work.
Wait, and I just want to go back to what you said earlier too. You said he was a journalist. He's a journalist. That's his profession. That's what he does. And you will often hear him say that he goes with his first mind, right?
Now he said I first guessed. He always said I first
My
guessed.
first guess.
I didn't second guess it. I first guessed it.
First guessed it. The first guess. So I'm bringing that point up because number one, a little earlier in the conversation, you mentioned that he was not a football player. So this is a man that's making commentary based on a sport that he's never played. His body was never impacted by or even felt a hit such as what these men feel on the field. So his level of compassion and understanding is disconnected from that automatically. So he's making this commentary and he's a journalist, you said, but he's a human being first. He's a human that understands or should understand or have a level of compassion for another human. You have to see value in that human. That comment indicates he doesn't see value in the human. He sees a greater value in the overall game. So and he made this commentary not as a journalist. A journalist is his profession. He didn't make it during his professional time. He made it during his personal time on his personal Twitter, attempting to guess first.
Right. But I relate to you like I relate to Skip.
What that mean?
When I call you, yeah, you be on your personal time, but you ain't never off.
Okay.
You ain't never off. You ain't never off the vision. You ain't never off the marker. You not never. There's not a time. Even when your children is involved, there's not a time where you are not focused on what you're trying to do, whether that's whether your goals, your career, whatever it is, you focus.
Okay.
Skip constantly focused. He don't come up. Even like he was mentioning on whatever show he's on. This is something that his wife, Ernestine. Everybody knows Skip's wife name, Ernestine, because it's something she has to deal with.
Yes.
The monster.
Okay.
You know, and I hate to use the term Skip monster, but that's what. But Skip is constantly in beast mode. Constantly in beast mode. So yes. But he's no guilty than any other TMZs, all the other reporters that first guess something, just so they can have it documented that they mentioned it first. Even if they got to come back later and clean it up, but they still got people who gonna follow the first story, I got to get it right story, the clean up story. Like he's guilty of that, but everybody else is too. He, you know what I'm saying, said a statement. I feel like he said a statement, but he didn't say, because I played the sport, I understand the sport, I coach the sport. He's been following the sport. Skip been following the sport longer than I've been alive, probably.
Okay.
He knows a lot about the sport. Nobody never seen the game get canceled. Nobody never seen. That's the first time in NFL history that didn't happen. Nobody seen that. It'd have been people died on the field.
You are speaking to a lot of things that I really, I don't mean to interrupt, but I do, because I don't want you to go too far, because I want to get to some of these points. One, you mentioned even me, when you call me, if I'm focused, I'm focused. I'm on. That's what it is. And that's Skip. That's his beast mode. He's always on, right?
Mm-hmm.
The difference between Skip and I is that he's a journalist. I'm always on because I am my business. It's Danielle that you're going to always get. Skip, the journalist, is who responded the other day on the Twitter. The journalist, not the person. And it's the journalist that did not have a care for the welfare of the person or those fans that love him or his family that witnessed. He didn't have a care for that. His care was not as primary as let me. It's about me again. It's about my show. It's not about the player. It's about me being first, me putting it out there first, even if it's negative commentary, even if it's negative press I get back. It still was all about me anyway.
Right.
And he made it about the business, and there was a personal compassion that was not shown. You're always going to get me, the person.
So, like, who said this? About a moment. I think Deion Sanders said, they were asking him. I was watching the documentary about Deion Sanders. Then they were talking about the wording that happened between him and the coach at Alabama, Nick Saban.
Okay.
And they were like, and they wanted to know like how he felt about that. How he felt about Nick Saban. He was like, Nick's still my guy. He was like, that was a moment. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I can't judge a man off a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, now what Skip is going down for is multiple moments that he has had, the questionable moments that he had.
Yes.
This was one that they like, people been trying to get Skip out of it. They want Skip. They call him for Skip job. Okay. They don't want him there. Not because of this particular moment, but multiple moments.
Okay. And please don't lose your thought there. And we can come right back. I want to get to the point that you said nobody had seen a game get canceled before. This had never happened before, right?
Right.
So Skip is a little bit older. He's got some age and seasoning on him. And I say that because the older you are, the more uncomfortable and harder it is to change. Well, change has come. On this day, something has happened that may generate us having to cancel the season. Do we continue to operate in an antiquated fashion of we've never seen this before, so it can't happen now? There's no other creative way we can get around the season. And what happens with this game, there's no other thing that we can come up with. Like we went there immediately before this guy really started breathing right again.
Now, he wasn't even off the field. He was still on the field.
Why are we having this conversation? So back to your point of they're calling for his job.
That's the point I want to make. So the guy's still on the field, right?
Yeah.
When he's, he's still on the field. We don't know, like nobody. We at home spectating. Skip at home spectating. He not on the field. He doesn't know the severity. Like I'm saying, I'm not.
Oh, you're saying he didn't know the severity of what had happened to the player at that time?
Right. We don't know the severity.
It was not known that he had went into cardiac arrest. It just looked like he took a bad hit.
It looked like he took a bad hit. We didn't know he took. We didn't know it. We didn't know what it was until he got to the hospital.
Okay. So that's fair that he may not have known on that day. But let's keep talking.
Yeah, so he ain't know
on that day at that time.
Right. He ain't know what was going on. Like he ain't know. Like so, I'm not defending Skip.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want no people trying to counsel me. And I
It's
started yet.
canceled.
Right. You know, can't counsel me, and I ain't even got started yet. So, but Skip, he tweeted this. Everybody go, not everybody, you know, like I said, I think Skip is being handled for multiple moments. You can't like DSI. You can't. If I had to judge Skip on this moment, like if this the only thing you ever knew about Skip, and this the only thing he ever said, like you say, oh, what, this is the terrible man for this one particular moment? No, you don't. I mean, I don't.
I agree with you. I'm not saying that he should be canceled for this one particular moment, but we already know that it's not just about this one particular moment. And we equally know, we just haven't gotten to that part of the conversation, but we equally know that he didn't change his position on it, period.
No, he didn't change his position. So let's go there. You know, he said he stand on what he tweeted.
Absolutely.
But this point is, I feel like he should have stand on what he tweeted. I feel like Skip needs to come on 2 Cups of Truth and sit down with me and you both.
I don't know if Skip would like that, because I've watched some things with Skip and Shannon, and I I would have no holds barred on Skip and his antics and behaviors that I've seen. So, but about this particular case that I've seen, we'd have a real interesting conversation. Absolutely.
Yeah, so he's
maybe not to his benefit, but
yeah. Right. But it could be, you know, but I just feel like sometimes you can't just, when you get to speaking your truth, you can't speak on them higher level platforms sometimes. Sometimes people got to see you come down and speak on a level that all the people on. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you came and spoke on 2 Cups of Truth podcast, it would do a lot more for you than going on CNN, NBC.
Now, you got to come to the people. But do you really want him to come to the people, especially when he has no humility about the things that people have expressed have been insensitive?
But has he done that in front of us? Has he came in and done it in front of, like, you know what I'm saying?
He doesn't look like he wants to do it at all, is what I'm saying.
So
if he comes to 2 Cups of Truth and he says, I'm still standing on my 10 with what I said, and I still agree that I would not take down my tweet, you think that would be beneficial for him in this community?
It would, but it would, because you would do him the same way you do me. You would you would shed light in areas that he probably damn in. Mm-hmm. You would tell him. You wouldn't back down. You would, you know, hey, look. Well, however, you may be thinking this, and you know how you like to talk with all your words. So I think you would give him all your words, and even with me, like even in this moment right here, like I don't feel like he was trying to be malice.
Right.
I feel like he was asking a football question. Mm-hmm. How at the end of the season, how are we gonna? You know what I mean, like this. It's unfortunate that young man had, you know, that incident to happen for his family, for everyone who was involved, their team,
everyone who witnessed it,
the NFL, everyone who witnessed it. You know what I mean? It's very unfortunate, you know. And I do wish I was in a different position where I could do more for this situation right here. And what I'm showing, and what I hope to do, and even now, man, like, listen, we in this council culture, like we so sensitive in this council culture. They've been wanting to council Skip. They don't feel like.
But if you keep getting things that's adding to your reason for wanting to be the people wanting to cancel you, is it the people's fault? Is it so-called cancel culture's fault, or is it the individual who might be getting caught slipping? Skip got caught slipping, and
it goes back to what you said. Like, you know, you got these old school ways and you're not willing to adjust.
Yeah.
You know, people are different. They seeing it different. Shannon is really outgrowing Skip because Shannon has the ability to readjust, reinvent himself. And you know, but because Shannon played football, I think he has the ability to make halftime adjustments. Skip doesn't have this type of ability. You know, he has been successful doing what he do. He got to this point.
Right.
Shannon's outgrowing him at this point
Mm-hmm.
because Shannon is a bigger man.
I think
words
there's
have
a
more
few
weight.
different reasons why I believe Shannon has outgrown him at this point. I think he's outgrown him a lot longer than before now, actually.
Right.
And I think that he gives him a lot of leeway on things that he says and he does, and acts ignorant too. I would love for Skip to come on a platform such as this. I would love it. That would be a great day.
I think we got a better shot of getting Skip here than we do getting Shannon here.
That's who I'd want. That's what would make the show a little.
We got a better chance of getting Skip here than we do getting
Because
Shannon.
I'm glad. I don't want you to, don't punk out. Don't be no punk about it. Stand on it. I want you to stand hard and strong. I want you to stand and say it with your heart. Say it with your full chest how you feel. Because what he has displayed this far is a reason for cancel culture to get at that. That's right. My point.
Hey, so I was a little upset with Shannon.
For what reason?
Because he didn't go in the next day.
Why were you upset with him for that?
Because I felt like he should have went, but then when somebody else brought it to my attention, like, you know what, Shannon just sat back and let him feel the wrath of what his comments was on his own.
Do you think he felt the wrath?
Yeah, that's what the post. But I'm like, okay, well, if you're gonna not go that day, like, if you're not gonna go that day, why go the next day? Oh, because the producers.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because the producer say, because you are under contract.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And now you can't have a sick day. I guess maybe called in sick. But if you're not gonna go that day, like, why go the next day?
So, one, if you take a pot of water and you put the water in the pot from the faucet, it's not hot yet. You put it on the stove, you turn it up on high. It still ain't automatically hot yet. It takes a minute to heat up. But when it's hot, it's hot. You're not going to stick your hand in there, right?
Right.
Now, if you turn that eye off and you take that pot off the eye and leave it for 2 minutes, you still ain't going to stick your hand in that pot, are you?
No.
Why not?
Because it's still hot.
It's still hot. It's going to take some time to cool off, right?
Right.
It's going to take some time to calm down so it don't burn nobody, right?
I get it.
Okay. So
I get the analogy you're going with.
For that man to stay home, this is a man who has put his body on the field. He has suffered injury. He has taken blows and hits just like this young man. So he identifies with the young man a lot differently than Bayless.
Right. And so, he brother be temporarily paralyzed.
On top of it. So he has endured some traumatic issues himself as a person. So he relates to the situation totally different. I appreciate him being responsible enough to stay home and not have an outburst on air with this man who refused to still understand on a human level of compassion why he could have taken or should have taken that tweet down or redirected it. You don't have to not stand on it.
But I'm at the point even to taking it down because now it'd have been screenshotted. It'd have been. It can't. It's not leaving the internet. Even if he take it down.
Even if he takes it down, it's about how people feel about it. He made a comment that said, I didn't see that you were going to bring up this topic because nobody here had a problem with it. And he said here as in the network. Nobody here had a problem with it. When you say nobody, because Shannon is there when Shannon is there. So Shannon is, again, nobody. He's a nobody because he cared. So should he be putting the, so you don't care what I think? You don't care how players feel? You don't care what players go through? So after all these years of sitting across from you and professing this friendship or this camaraderie as a colleague, what you are demonstrating is that you don't give a rat's ass about me, about the players, or value human life, period.
So
when this is brought to you, you're going to stand on that.
Right. So he said nobody here.
Nobody here had a problem with it.
Because I remember that watching it. I remember watching it. He said, you know what I'm saying? He didn't think it. He said, I didn't even think you was going to bring this up.
Right. So now that it was brought up, what do you mean nobody here? I am a body, am I not? Or am I not a valued and respected body enough for you to consider valuable enough to care? Because you're not including me in that bunch. You're telling me nobody here cared. It only takes one body. But obviously you don't see my body.
Yeah, so he was talking about the higher ups.
Again,
so do you think
nobody here, regardless of who he's talking, again, this man has an issue. He's a commentator. He's a journalist. He's on the show, and he doesn't have a responsibility for his words. I was taught from a great mentor of mine, watch your words, because once they're out, you can't pull them back. So you are absolutely responsible for every one that comes out of your mouth.
Right. So he brought the network in it.
Right. He brought the network in it. So he's letting us Shannon know, not only do I not care, nobody here cares. Right. You're not even cared for around here, buddy.
Right.
Nobody cared.
Yeah, he said nobody here had
nobody cared. We put our bodies on this field to entertain you. And nobody cared. That's a great feeling to walk away with.
No, it's not that. But we're talking about, you know, like I seen another commentator talking about, you know, risks come with the game.
No doubt.
Risks come with the game.
We don't say that when cops get shot, though.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't. We don't say that. We go into a whole nother thing. Nobody values the police. You know, blue line. We got to fight for the blue line. All this other stuff. But again, this comes with the job. It comes with the job. They're able to kill with immunity because they're fearful. That comes with the job. That's the risk that comes with the job. Right. It comes with the job, but it's okay for them to go do what they do. But with the risk that comes with the job over here, we just got to suck it up and go on to the next game.
Right. So that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother conversation we talk about, you know, because I definitely know a few police officers that I have become acquainted with. Okay. If that's the right word, you know, because, you know, understanding that when they go out and, you know, and because, you know, I was talking to them over a simple traffic stop. Mm-hmm. You know, they just as scared. There's somebody's sister, husband, brother, father, son, uncle. They just as scared as everyone else when they pull you over. So, you know,
I'm gonna need you to go work somewhere else. I'm gonna need you to find a different occupation. So occupational hazard is a thing that comes with that job, and if you scared, I'm gonna need you to go home. We don't want no scared folk out here.
Have you ever been frightened doing a job?
Absolutely. I was a correction officer at a prison. So at a level 4 prison on top of that. So, and I stand, well, I ain't gonna tell you what I stand. So yeah, I can understand the fear in the job. I can understand you having that, but it's one thing to have fear and it's another to be afraid. Those are two different things. If you're afraid walking up to my car, you liable to shoot somebody in here because you scary.
Right.
Off the rip.
That's why I can't be an officer, because I know I'm scary.
I'm gonna need you to stay home, sir. I'm gonna need you to go work at the animal shelter, do something that's real easy for you.
Right. You know, like this right here, just be in the studio and
just talk.
Hey,
no real occupational hazard. Might sip a little bit too much. That's about it.
Right. So, man, but
we gotta do better. We just gotta do better.
Hey, Skip asked the question.
What was that?
He did. He asked the question, you know what I'm saying? How? You know what I'm saying? Like he was looking down, it was too early to look.
When he asked the question
at the wrong time.
Wrong time, wrong audience. Wrong audience. Ask your question to the NFL. Ask your question to the people that you know don't care about a question such as that. Ask them. Don't put it on your private time on Twitter, on a platform that's going around the world when you're not commentating, sir. This is your personal feeling. This is who you are. You could care less about what happened out there on the field, and that's just that. Own it.
Hey, you know what? When he say I stand on it, that's what he's saying.
That's exactly what he's saying. I respect the man because he's letting you know how he feel. Now, because he feel like that, might be time for him to go.
I get it. And they call him for his job. Plenty. And they've been calling because I said not because of this moment. I think it's multiple moments. But if you if anybody watching can, you know, at Skip, tag Skip, tell Skip, you know, we definitely invite him on the 2 Cup the Truth podcast.
I just really want to be clear too. I'm not gloating over the fact that they're calling for his job. I think if for a job at that level where you are reaching the masses of people to that degree, you have a certain responsibility, and he hasn't been responsible. And he hasn't recognized how he's caused injury. And that matters, especially when the majority of the NFL players are Black.
Right. So then we didn't even get into that part. Is it a black
at all? I'm waiting.
Is it a black and white thing? I see. I'm saying the issue was so big and blunt. We didn't even get a chance to discuss black or white. You know what I'm saying? So I know that Skip has said plenty of times that because he's raised with a black nanny, you know, he feels to the Black community in a different type of way. You know, and Skip really
is that the black card? Is that I'm able to say what I say, act how I act, and behave how I behave because I was raised by a black nanny?
Right. And he's been endorsed with Lil Wayne by Lil Wayne. You know, he think Lil Wayne, you know, but we don't really consider Wayne to be black like that.
Listen, all I know for a fact is that has nothing to do with Skip. Skip is not of this culture. Skip has proven that not even being of the football culture, he's only of football knowledge. He has never hit that field. So he makes a lot of comments off-ended in spaces that he shouldn't. I absolutely believe because of Skip's age, I don't care how many black nannies he had in his life, because of his age, because of his upbringing and time frame, the generation from which he comes, because of his cultural background, he lacked compassion in the comment. He lacked empathy in even trying to retract it, redirect it, or clean it up when he knew it was offensive. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, race played a part. Absolutely.
So I'm gonna say this, then we can, well, you know, even if, you know, the part is, you know, like sometimes you can say something as humans, you can say something and you don't really, you know, and the intent is not what people, you know what I mean? And you can be read the wrong way. Things happen, you know, because I get taken the wrong way a lot. So, but my intent be good. So, you know, but even when someone takes me the wrong way off rip, I still have enough decency to like, to at least, hey, this wasn't what that was.
I love that you said decency. He's not being indecent. He's just standing on what it was that he said. He doesn't care about the intent, how it was taken, or any of that. I said what I said, and you deal with it. And that's how he's leaving it for the people. So
Well,
then let's deal with it.
back with the other tweets, and he came back with other tweets, and in the other tweets, he was like, you know what? If my tweet was misunderstood,
If the queen had balls, she'd be king. So we're not talking about if. You know it was. Own it. Own it. You know it was injurious. You know it was offensive. It's not if. That's not a real apology. That's not a real apology.
So
and again, like I said, he doubled down on it. Even after, if you made a comment in the moment, you still had time to think on it. That's the difference between us and animals. Animals move on instinct. We move by intent. So if your intent was misread, then it should have been cleaned up.
I appreciate
it wasn't. He was on it.
I appreciate that, Dennis. Dennis come. He got to go help his daughter with his homework.
That's awesome.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Daddy, daughter time, homework. I mean, we got to salute that. But sometimes things can be said and took into the wrong, and taken the wrong way. However, we're talking about morals versus culture. Morally, you think Skip lost?
I think Skip comes from a culture that has historically proven a lack of high morals.
Okay. Now,
and he's just acting out in his natural way based upon his culture.
Okay, so that's a great point you make, and kind of segue into the next thing of acting out. And acting out. So I want to bring up Gabrielle Union.
Okay. Gabrielle.
It struck me different. I got a daughter named Gabby.
Yeah.
So it struck me. So I feel like Shannon on the field.
What
like
you mean?
It's
personal.
it hit me a little different, and for me to have, because we see these celebrities and we see these superstars and we see these icons from a distance, and we have such high hopes, and we put them on such a high pedestal. And I never would thought Gabrielle Union would say, "Oh, because I paid all the bills, it's okay for me to cheat."
Is that what she said?
Yeah, it's okay for me to be.
Is that what she said?
That's what it said. That's what it looked like. What I read.
Okay.
So
I got something different. I'm gonna have to go back to it. What I got from it was that what she said was that she felt that it was okay for her to cheat also as well. So because she was paying all the bills. So let me go back because I want to make sure I'm very big on words. I want to make sure I'm accurate in what she said, because what I got from it was that she said it was dysfunctional. So she said she already knew it was a problem in the marriage. It was a dysfunctional marriage from day one. And she said that he was already cheating. So if he could be cheating, especially with her paying all the bills, why wouldn't she be able to? So I got something a little different from it than what you had got from it. But let's see. Let's see what she said exactly. Let's get her words specifically, because that's important. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Let's make sure we get it right.
You want to make sure we get it right now.
Oh, yeah.
because I had such high hopes for Gabby.
You had high hopes for her. If the comment was what you believed it to be, that she said she could cheat because she paid all the bills, where did your hope go for her? Why would your hope have changed for her? Your
I mean,
high hope.
like a lot of people really don't like to talk about it. Like I said, times have changed. Back in the old days when Mr. Earl and Mr. Willie and Mr. Charles and them were running the household, they ran it with, they was different kind of men. They were men of men. They can take care of and handle and manage 2-3 households. Um, and they put their foot down in a way where, but now we're in a different time. We're definitely in a different time now.
But
So
she's of our time. She's of our age group time.
yeah,
right?
so different. So we're definitely in a different time though, where I think a lot happened when she said, I'm paying all the bills. I think a lot happened when, back in the early '90s when they had all these different movements going on. They started transitioning the power to black women.
The independent song.
Yeah, independent. So they started transitioning over.
It's funny you say that because I almost feel like that was a cahoots on black women. I feel like that was a hustle, a bamboozle. We're gonna say that you're gonna be independent so that you want to be independent and we can do less. Yeah, we want you to be that type of ride or die chick so we can do less. Yeah, we want you to be able to hold us down while we go over here and do what we do over here.
Who? Who is
Men.
Man, nah, but what men? Black men?
The music was while the music was telling us to be independent, it was really a hustle to get us to feel like, yeah, we so headstrong and we are so on top, when in reality it was a hustle so that y'all could do less.
No,
Some men, not all men, some men.
Affirmative action. When affirmative action came around, and they were supposed to, put us, our people, blacks in different places and give us different power. So, but then you had the women's movement going around. So then I said, so I guess somebody in Congress or wherever, however it happens, I'm not really a politician, but they said we're gonna kill two birds with one stone. You know what I'm saying? Now, we're gonna do something for women. We're gonna do something for their culture.
That's historical. Yeah.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna start putting the black women in power. And then I think because of that birthed the independent woman. Then they started with housing. So they said, well, the more black women or whoever don't work, we're gonna make sure that they can't take care of the black man. So when they started giving them food stamps, they say, you know what, but you can't have no one else living here. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't.
I need you to. I just want to interject because I hear all of that, and you know who you're talking to.
Right.
You know who you're talking to.
That's
so
why
I need you to be clear that you got to understand the whole picture. And the whole picture is there was a report that the government had did back in the 60s, before the 90s and the music started to change, before the women's movement got into full swing. There was a report that was done, and that report was called the Moynihan Report. And that report was a report that needed to assess the destruction of the black family. And in that report, Mr. Moynihan was able to comprise information that showed removing the male from the household would be extremely detrimental to the black family unit. And it was just amazing that after this report came out, he was let go. The information was taken by the government, and all of a sudden, music starts changing. We need to not just give to the women, give to the black women, make them more dominant, because that adds more division in the black family unit. We can't have the black man in the household if you're receiving benefits because it adds more division in the black family unit. So there was a process to it that was being enforced by a culture, the same culture that Skip comes from. Yeah. That lacks compassion for the human beings involved.
Right. Yeah. In which I think Gabrielle didn't got caught up in the same culture that Skip in.
Before we go in on Gabrielle, because I just deal with facts. I'm not a fan or foe to anybody in particular. I just deal with the facts. So let's go to her quote. Can we go to the quote? Okay.
Let's go to the quote.
She says, during that first marriage, I definitely wasn't getting Wife of the Year awards. She says, in that first marriage, neither one of us felt our marriage should get in the way of our dating. So she's speaking here to the fact that they were both cheating or both not fully committed to one another, right? Equally. Then she says, noting that part of her infidelity was her trying to match her husband's. So to match somebody, that means somebody had to be doing it first, and now you're trying to match them, right? Okay. So she says she felt entitled to it. She felt that she had the ability to do that. She had a justification for her cheating. And her justification was because she was paying all of the bills and she was working her behind off, that was the spoils of her riches.
Right. So, and that's gonna, and when she go to heaven and she talk to God, and God gonna be like, hey, Kai, you were paying all the bills, I'm gonna open these gates for you.
No, but when God says, or she gets the opportunity to speak to God, and she says, I was in a dysfunctional situation. Today, I know I was wrong. Today, I know that thinking and those activities were wrong. At that time, I was living in the world, and I am no longer in that. I have understood my wrong, and I repent for that. And that's why I was able to freely speak about it and tell the people.
Right.
So not to be judged by it, but to let them know the ill of my way.
Right. So, I can ride with that. I can definitely ride with that. Now, okay. But here's what I have a problem with. Other young ladies ain't gonna see that. Oh. Other young ladies didn't hear that. They heard exactly. They only heard I paid all the bills, so in their mind I can do what I want to do. Hey, it's cool when you do it, but when I do it, that's what the other young ladies heard. No, so like, and she didn't double down like Skip and come back and say, you know what, I stand on it because of these things. She didn't come back and double down on it and say, you know what, hey, this is wrong. Mm-hmm. This is something that you should not do. You should not try to follow my. This is not a queen. This is not queen activity.
Okay, so let's go back because we talked about how Skip, you had so much explanation for Skip in his moment when he had his moment, right? He had a moment that he initiated. She had a moment where she responded to something that she was asked about. So she, in the moment, responded to the question she was asked about and what she said, because people read into things that they want to read into. That's why I said, let's go back to the quote, because you got to, read the whole thing and not just take the pieces that you want to hear from it. Mm-hmm. And like you said, our youth are going to pull what they want from it. They don't have that filter. They're going to pull what they want from it. So in that case, she now has the ability to come back and speak to her correction. But in the moment, she was answering a question that was posed to her. Skip jumped out. He wasn't even answering no question. Skip just jumped out. But go ahead.
Okay, so what's so cool? So let's give Gabrielle the same respect we gave Skip. So let's give the words to the text analytical treatment.
Okay. Okay.
So let's get a word to the text analytical treatment.
Let's go.
That's one.
Okay, let's go. You want to go back to the beginning sentence?
Yeah, yeah. Let's go back to the beginning.
During the first marriage, her first marriage. So she had never done this before. This is her first marriage.
Right.
During that first marriage, I definitely wasn't getting Wife of the Year award.
Okay, let's put a period behind Wife of the Year award. Let's put a period behind that, because somebody, when you say doing my first marriage, when you say the word marriage, they just talk about marriage. Well, they just talk about marriage. Somebody got to understand what marriage is. Somebody like you. So how do you go and do something and not understand what marriage is? Like you know, I can understand Skip having a airhead moment, but how you have an airhead marriage? I mean, this ain't one day. This ain't one moment. This ain't, you know what I'm saying? You know, like how do you be in this state of bliss for such a period of time, and you understood, you went and took vows, you said, you know what I'm saying, you understood, like you weren't like, you know, even childhood, even kids understand to some level of what a marriage is supposed to represent.
Yes. Okay.
And so how do you
So
get, but not like I can't give you a path for like what you said. So let's go back to the sentence again.
the sentence said, during that first marriage, I definitely wasn't getting Wife of the Year award. So can I speak to what you said?
Yes, ma'am.
I can say who I am today is very different from who I was when I first was married. I was younger, I was less intelligent at that time, and less experienced at that time. Being younger and being married for the first time, I was literally taking some of the dysfunctional things that I had witnessed and observed in my own household. One, is very hard to find a healthy, functional marriage today in certain communities, especially the community from which Gabby came from. Now, she didn't come from a bad community, but what was her family foundation? What did she see? And did they come from a level of affluency where the woman was making more money than the man? Because that adds a different dynamic to it. So now she's coming from a dysfunctional household, right? She's coming from a household where she may not have witnessed what a healthy marriage looks like. She has this man that's cheating. She is making all the money, paying all the bills, and feeling like, why can't I cheat? So not that it's okay, but that was her justification for it. And you can't understand that, her understanding that now, being in a better situation, in a better marriage, you can't understand how she could have had that moment.
Man, I understand where you coming from, and I need to interact. First of all, in late gate. Hey, that's my brother that he checking in late gate. But how?
Okay.
But I see where you coming from. Now, when we read the text, now you say you like to deal with facts.
Yes.
So you went in. So now in that, you threw your own stuff in there. You said she making all the money.
That's what she said.
Nah, she didn't say she was making. Yeah, you said she was making. She said that she said she was just paying all the bills.
No,
What?
She said she was paying all the bills. That's what she said.
She was you're right. Right. She said she just paying, but he said making all the money. Now how you know that who she was married to just went on top of his pimping? It wasn't me.
That could have been very factual.
Hold on. Let the pastor speak.
Go ahead.
Let the pastor speak. Cause you know what I'm saying? Because just cause you can afford to pay bills, see, you can't rob me of my manhood. See, you can't rob me. See, and
when did it become about you? This became about her and her
right.
womanhood.
But we're talking about morals versus culture. And this council culture, see, they try to demoralize and demasculize men. See, because somebody had tricked people into thinking that money make you something. a couple of dollars to make you something. A couple of dollars. See, men today don't feel like they're 100% a man because they don't make a certain amount of money. See, they've been brainwashed. Women feel like they more men. Women feel like they more men than men because they making money. See, but they don't understand what happened in the early 90s. When we talk about affirmative action, started to put all this in place. So there was a design, but just because you make more money than me, you can't be more man than me. See, God designed.
She didn't say that. That was not what her comment said. That is not what I took it that she was going to. What she clearly said was that they were cheating on each other, and she felt entitled to do so because she was paying all the bills.
Mm-hmm.
So she felt entitled. Now, let's go back to this dysfunctional marriage thing, and let's go back to the dysfunctional households that we come from. You have to be able to see that money does not make the person in your upbringing. We don't know what she saw in her upbringing. Money may have been a primary factor in her upbringing. So therefore, she felt like, well, and this is alleged. This is not putting it on her father. She may have witnessed a man making all the money and feeling like he could do whatever he wanted and was cheating on his wife. And therefore, that's how that goes. You pay the bills, you do what you want. That may have been something she picked up along her experiences. So that was something that made her feel comfortable to say, well, I'm okay to cheat because I'm paying the bills.
Let me stamp that for men understand what women can understand. See, men like, you know what, see, it was ego probably said that. It probably ego probably said that coming from a man. Look, hey, basically, don't fool with me because I take care of everything that I supposed to take care of. You know what I mean?
Not if you're cheating. You're not taking care of everything you're supposed to take care of.
So I'm gonna do whatever I feel like I need to do.
But that was the misconception on the man. That's somebody tricking men into believing because you pay all the bills, you can do what you want to do.
No, men gonna do what they want to see, but that's the thing. See, I know better than to say that a lot of young men that's being taught by other men, that real men understand better than to say that. Like, I'm gonna do it because that's what I decided to do. Even because I'm paying bills, you could be paying all the bills. You can't. It's some understandable double standards.
Let me. I agree with that. Number one, I do agree that there are some agreeable double standards. Let me also say that we have this misconception that the man could feel a way and the woman has to be a way. We are both individuals. So you're absolutely right. You can do whatever it is you choose to do, but so can women. Because you pay the bills or not, I can still do what I choose to do. So if cheating is a part of that, it's going to happen.
Cheating is, it's about being dominant. Like, man, dominant. We're going to dominate. Like,
why do we have to dominate? See, that's a westernized mindset. That is the manifest destiny. I'm taking everything and I'm claiming and I'm pissing on and it's mine and then I control it and I dominated it. That is a westernized cultured thinking.
Yeah,
and it is not something that is good for a unit of people.
But that's what America is.
That is what we make it. That is what we make it. Lunchtime. Don't get put in that lunchbox. Listen, so it's very important that you understand it's what we make it. America is what we make it. The reality is what we are really doing. It can change at any point, just like skipping the game. Nobody ever seen the game get changed before, but guess what? In reality, now we got to do it because something happened in the real world that's going to change that.
Yeah, it had changed. It has. So, and if you can't make adjustments as men, see, men now have to be able to make adjustments without being demasculinized, without being robbed of your manhood. You know what I'm saying? But when a man...
Did that mess with your manhood because she said she made all the money that gave her the right to cheat? Would that have messed with somebody's manhood?
It didn't mess with me. It should have messed with her. Like, you don't value your temple. such a way. So, but then don't come get mad because you know what I'm saying, because you know it ain't a temple to me no more. It ain't a temple to no other man no more because you didn't value the temple. See, you know what I'm saying? Because men have this innate thing about women, like we value women more than we value ourselves. But so the thing is, so it ain't about it. That's where the understandable double standard comes from. Because I hold women to a high standard. Like we gonna protect the temple, we protect home, we protect, we take care of that. But you want to go out here and be ignorant like me, but it won't. You know what I'm saying?
Said she was younger. Being younger, sometimes you're a little dumber. Sometimes you're moving a little wrong because you came from something. You have to unlearn some things, or you have to learn them in the right way. So for her to be able to say that, I feel like for people to attack her because she's saying that, listen, it's a double standard on how many bodies a person sleeps with, whether you're male or female anyway. There's a double standard there, period.
Yeah. You know what I'm
She
saying?
didn't say she slept with a lot of people. She said she felt comfortable to cheat because she was paying the bills.
Right. But yeah, but for one body, for a man
or
like,
inexperience. Absolutely.
I used to see I didn't know you can see the comments.
Mm-hmm.
So one body for a male is one body. One body for a female is like 10.
So we're doing dog years on females.
Yeah, they got dog bodies. Yeah. And not dog bodies, but
we better get it right before you get canceled.
But you know what I'm saying? But it's multiplied. Drake said what it gave, but you gotta multiply that by 3 or 4. So you gotta multiply that by 3 or 4. So when they say 1, you already know that 5 or 6. So you know what I mean? So yeah. So but that's the way, men, Ashana, we see things different.
I see.
When a man chooses you as a wife, whether his intent is to be 100% committed to you in a sexual way or not, he saw something different. Mm-hmm. He saw something elegant. He saw something special.
You say all of this, but this man cheated on her.
Yeah, they come with with some men they come with the tip, but I'm saying, but it doesn't change the value. It doesn't.
So for her, with her money and her riches, that came with her territory.
Yeah, but she devalued herself. Now
that's in your opinion. That's to you. But listen. If she didn't feel devalued, if she doesn't feel she was devalued, then it doesn't matter. Dwayne Wade didn't feel she was devalued. Doesn't matter.
I'm not.
I'm sorry.
Man, I mean, you. First of all, I don't want to talk about it unless I got Boosie on the show with me.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about Dwayne unless I got Boosie on the show with me. But unless I got Boosie on the show, cause Dwayne Wade is not what I would. Money make people listen. I said
exactly. Money. Finish your sentence. Money makes what?
A lot of people get respect that shouldn't get respect.
Okay.
Money. Okay. A lot of people get respect that shouldn't be respected in certain areas.
Okay.
People respect the fact that you got money. People respect the fact that you got things that they did not have. People respect the fact that you got this material value on this.
Warped morals.
So they assume that you're smarter. They assume that you got more moral character.
Warped morals again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but it's all about the money. So, but when you take the money, so if you take
money over morals,
right? Money over morals. So if you take the money away from Gabrielle and put her at Wendy, and she come out and say the same statement, what do you think the backlash is gonna be? What do you think the truth is?
If Gabby was working at Wendy's and she was paying for her little spot wherever she was living, and she was paying all the bills in that little spot where she was living, I think she would say the same thing. Whatever man that she was with that wasn't apparently paying the bills. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think she was saying She was sharing a piece of truth with the world, saying that she was thinking incorrectly in thinking that because she was making this money, she was entitled to cheat.
Right. They probably were raw dogging her. Like all
Well,
kinds.
see, why you got to go all there? What does why do you got to take it to a whole nother level in imagination? Why she couldn't still be respecting herself, respectable, still be using protection?
You out here and you out here stepping. I mean, even for me, I even hold men to that.
So I'm not sexually responsible because I make money because I'm out here cheating.
Man, you don't cheat. You're right. You can't be.
I pull that back. I pull that one back. I'ma say she cheated. That didn't mean she was being irresponsible in the protection area. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that. She was married. It was wrong. She shared it with the world. So she's not ashamed of it. She's owning her stuff.
Right. But you should have did. But then you don't come out and share this after I'd have married you too. This ain't something.
Do you know who she's married to? Why can't she share this now? This ain't nothing stranger than what is already happening. What are you talking about?
Hey, I feel, hey, Slade, I feel you. She say, look, folk not using condom past the age of 30.
Not true. Not true. That's not true.
Hey, folk not using condom past the age of 30.
See, that's a problem. Again, look what we're putting over morals. You're not looking to live. You're not looking to have, live into a long life and have a long standing family because you out here raw dogging after 30, tripping.
Hey, they raw dogging. They been raw dogging, man. Like you done put it on the line before, and you done risk it all before for a moment. Yeah, you didn't risk it all before for a moment. We have risked it for a moment before.
Okay. The point is, I don't even know how we got to any of that. What I'm talking about is what she said. We got to her first sentence and you stopped. We got to breaking down and analyzing the first sentence. Huh? What'd you say?
I said, well, let's go to the second sentence.
In that first marriage, she's making it clear, in that first marriage, neither one of us felt that our marriage should get in the way of our cheating. So the same kind of huh?
Did she actually say the word cheating?
Yes. I'm going to read again exactly what she said. In that first marriage, neither one of us felt that our marriage should get in the way of our dating. I'm sorry. She said dating.
Mm-hmm.
In way of our dating. If you're dating and you're married, then you're cheating.
That's wrong.
Huh?
That's definitely wrong.
What's wrong?
Both of them in that case, you know what I'm saying? Both of them in that case, like it said.
But what about open marriages? What about people that have open marriages that still are connected to each other, but they openly date?
Now, I don't believe, me personally, I don't believe in that. I believe God blesses marriages, and especially marriage that both are and bestly both with both of them both parties trying to really be married. And I agree with Slade, like why are they married? So it must have been a business move. It must have been a business.
So let's talk about that. It doesn't have to necessarily be a business move. We're going through a time of change right now where polygamy is a big topic. People are talking about it. People are living it much more often, and it's becoming more common today. And I say that because when you say, why are they married? Meaning, if I married you, maybe you and I make a great partnership for a long-term basis. But that doesn't eliminate the fact that I'm sexually attracted to other people, or that you are still sexually attracted to other people, despite the fact that we're married.
Yeah, so you can't.
So we're not restricting ourselves to what our natural inclination would be, to be attracted to someone else and want to engage with someone else. I don't want to lose you. What we got is long term. That we're going for the long haul with this. But that doesn't negate the fact that I might be attracted to somebody else and you might be too, and we're giving each other permission to explore those things.
You're right. But you have to govern, like they said, church, you got to govern yourself accordingly.
What makes it accordingly to you?
You
What
know,
makes it mean when you say accordingly? That's kind of subjective because in their life, it could be according to their life.
um,
Maybe she wasn't a woman yet because she was an adult and because she was married, didn't make sure she had reached her womanhood yet.
what made you want to get married in the first, like, you know what I'm saying? So you get, so it had to be, it sounded like to me, if somebody made a power move. I
Why
don't
do
know,
you?
I don't know which
Okay.
one, but somebody definitely made a power move.
When they met, there was just a change in money dynamic. He was a football player, and then he got to the point where he wasn't married. He wasn't. I mean, sorry, he wasn't playing ball anymore. So now the money wasn't the same, and now she was making the money because her career started to go on a up. So that's the only reason why she was saying she was paying all the bills because he was transitioning out of football at that time. So should she have left him? You'd have been talking junk about her if she'd have left him.
I'm gonna be talking, you know, I'm gonna be talking for anybody that don't stand on their marriage. You know, whether it's the man or the woman, for even for a man,
He was already cheating.
it,
He was already doing it. So she just got down with him. Not, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm justifying or agreeing with the behavior.
yeah, that's what it sounds like.
It sounded like you was defending Skip, even though you said you wasn't. So we can't go by what it sounds like. We got to go by what it is, partner.
Now I wasn't defending Skip.
And I'm not defending her. I'm just saying to be able to speak from a non-judgmental platform, to speak from non-judgment and understanding that people make decisions and errors, especially in their younger day, and they're speaking on it now. It happens.
So what would you advise? So now you said, look, they said in sentence 2. In sentence 2,
Yes.
he said that they did not want their marriage to get in the way of them dating. In which I feel like it should have been reversed. They shouldn't want them the desire.
You're absolutely right. She thought that too.
Marriage.
That's what she's saying was dysfunctional. She's just telling the story. She's not saying it's okay. She's saying this is what happened. These are the facts of what happened. So let's recap on some things here. We're talking about morals versus culture, right? And we're talking about some stories today that are hot in the culture right now, which we initially talked about Skip Bayless and his comment and tweet about the young man that was injured on the football field. We talked about his morals or lack thereof. And now we're talking about Gabrielle Union and the comment that she made.
Or lack thereof. See, you don't even want to say the same statement.
About her morals or lack thereof, right? I could be fair to that.
All of us had such high hopes for Gabrielle. And all of them.
Why did your hopes for her change? Because she was honest with her statement.
I never would have thought that she would be out here doing these type of things. You know what I mean?
Having done. Like you said, we've all done something a little loose in our past history, and she's just sharing it with you. She didn't say that she's doing that now. She said in her first marriage, she thought like that. People change how they think.
Yeah, people change how they think, but then now everything is questionable because now you didn't go marry a guy. You go marry Dwayne Wade. Like she still could be doing like this guy wearing dresses. Like, you know, like ain't telling what she got going on now. She still, you know what I mean? Like, so
she's still doing it.
Marry Mike Tyson.
Huh?
She didn't go marry somebody like Mike Tyson. She ain't.
What does that mean? A man? Oh, Mike is a man's man.
Yeah. Okay. So she didn't go marry no Russell Simmons. You know what I'm saying? She didn't go marry.
When she married Dwayne, was he wearing dresses?
I don't know. Evidently not.
And that's when we talk about morals, because he's now wearing dresses, should she divorce him?
I don't know, but you know, but he definitely has
allegedly wearing dresses.
I definitely carrying some Victoria's Secret. I do believe he.
But should she divorce him? Because when we talk about morals, we were talking about till death do you part. And
Right.
because he changed his style of dress, does that mean she should leave him and break up her family?
No. I mean, no. I mean, to death. I stand on marriage. So, so I'll be going everything, I'll be going against everything I believe in to say, you should work through what you need to work through. You came together for a reason, and I think you have to manage, like, especially men. Men have to manage. Men have to manage. We that's our task in life. Men can't control anything. But we have to manage everything that God put in front of us, our emotion, our finances, women, our children, our job, career, everything. Men have to manage very well. When you find a man that can't manage well, what I'm saying, it's easier for him to be knocked out the way, overrun, or demasculized. You know what I mean? So a man that can manage well typically does better in every area. So you got a great manager. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be that's my advice to all men. If you want to be considered to be a great man, you have to work on being a great manager.
Get your management skills up. Okay.
You gotta get management skills up. So however, do I think Dwayne Wade is managing Gabrielle? No.
Why?
Him.
Why?
Because now he's a retired NBA player.
Okay. And she seems to be a retired actress. But he still has enough money for them to sit on and still be the quote unquote breadwinner. My thing is, because he might be
just being a breadwinner make you the man of the house. What really make you the man of the house?
That's shit. Tell me. As the man, what do you feel makes you the man of the house? Do you feel like being the breadwinner makes you the man? I don't think that.
No, I don't think being the breadwinner make you the man. I think managing the house make you the man of the house.
I think that being a man in the house and acting in your capacity as a man is what makes you the breadwinner or the head of the household, so to say.
Hey, hello, somebody. That's what I'm talking about. You got to be a man.
You have to be a man and know how to act in that capacity.
Yeah, you have to be a man.
And I don't think because he has made certain choices in his style of dress or how to raise his children that makes him less of a man. I don't think it makes him less of a man. I think he has an alternative lifestyle that we just don't agree with.
Right. So just imagine laying in your bed. Just imagine laying in your bed. Your house on TV, or you reading the tweets or the Instagram, and you see your spouse then talking about, you know what, I used to cheat all the time and such and such and cheat, and because I was doing this because such and such. Mm-hmm. You got to have enough. You see, now you're talking about Skip. You talking about Skip Skip lacked the compassion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this being your husband, this being your wife, you don't have the compassion enough to understand that these statements, even though this is your truth, like, it's gonna come back on me or her.
It's gonna come back on you as the man in my life.
Or her. It could have been the male. It could have went both ways. You don't have enough compassion to understand that. Hey, you know what? You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be script or something when you tell this particular truth.
Okay, so you would rather her have not answered honestly, or not answered the question at all, than answered the way she answered. Is that what you're saying?
Well, how did they even know?
Because it would have some impact on you as the man. Is that what you're saying?
How do they even know to ask that question?
Well, maybe, business gets talked about and go, so they might have got wind that she cheated on him or whatever the case was. Whatever whatever the reasoning is, her truth is her truth. Whether she told it or not, it still happened. That's still what she did. That's still how she thought, excuse me, at that time. I don't see what the harsh and harm is that she said it. As far as she's concerned, how can it really hurt her what she used to do in her past and she has grown from?
Right. So that's like me finding a young lady and I fall for her and whatnot. Then she tell me her past. I say, you know what? I'm gonna try to get past. You know, I love you enough.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't go tell my mama you used to be a prostitute.
Oh, so you're ashamed of me in my life. You can
Yeah.
accept me in your
Now,
life.
but we need
to accept me who I am now, but who I was comes with me too.
Yeah, everything you don't need to know. You don't go to a job. You don't go to no job application. When you put on job application, they say who you used to work for. You don't put everybody on who used to work for. You put all the people that's relevant to what the need to be known.
But then that sounds like she needs a better PR person to one, vet the questions she's going to get in interviews, and then two, to train her on how to answer, because all she did was answer with her truth.
Yeah, you go to the, you know what I'm saying? You go and you know what I'm saying? You going to the job. You going to apply for a job. You done went back to school, or you done got your life together. You done gone a new path. You done went back to school. You got a degree. Now you finna go to the school and teach. Then you go in there, you get the job interview. The teacher go in there and say, yeah, I used to be a scripper. Yeah, and I want to teach these young ladies.
So listen.
Do you get the job?
That is because we so busy faking and fronting and acting like we can't deal with the truth and being offended by the little things that people are saying and doing. Everybody does not need to know your business. That is an absolutely true statement. Not everybody needs to know your business. But if it is my business and I elect to share it, then I don't understand what the harm is, especially when it's about me and it ain't got nothing to do with you, who I married.
Yeah, it do, cause it's like, even in my case, my business just ain't my business no more. Because I understand that, because I have an understanding, like now with, even with my wife and her and what she do for a living. It's just certain things, you know what I'm saying, that
I can respect that. I can hear that. How I show up in the world is going to impact you as my husband. I get that. Me talking about my past and having cheated in my marriage, that wasn't unknown. What they talking about today was on a damn Unsung about her years ago. So why is it such a big deal? This is what she said. She felt comfortable and put it out there about herself.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
But the fact that she said that, her reasoning for doing it is what we're talking about.
I was misguided. I was in a dysfunctional marriage. I was thinking in a dysfunctional way. So therefore, I'm doing dysfunctional stuff.
We was on sentence 2 that said that we didn't want our marriage to get in the way of our date.
Yes.
What I'm curious to know what sentence 3 was.
I felt entitled, noting that part of the infidelity was her trying to match her husband's. Union added that she felt entitled to it. I was paying all the bills.
He said she felt entitled under God to destroy. She felt entitled to go against everything God put together. So
does she know everything that God put together? Does she understand? Is she a believer in the way that you are a believer? Yeah, does she understand the covenant of marriage the way that you understand it?
She had some belief in marriage. She spoke the word marriage, not me. It was in sentence 1.
She did. And that is done in ritual and practice. There are a lot of people that go to church and they take communion and don't really understand it, but that's the ritual and practice they were taught.
Right. They be hungry. They want some of the crackers.
They just want a little sip. Just a little sip. Wet the palate.
They want a little juice. I get it.
So because she said it doesn't mean
but you still know this cracker and juice means something.
It means something. The marriage did mean something. She stayed married to him, even though he was cheating too. So
No, you keep
it
talking
wasn't
he was cheating too.
right.
It doesn't. Listen, the
She
point.
said it says in the article that she was matching him.
She can't. That was
In reality, in practice, she can. If you cheat, I cheat. You cheat, I cheat.
You believe that
matches, right?
Nuh-uh. See. I'm gonna tell you. See. No, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Right? If you cheat, I cheat. No, you know what I'm saying?
It's not the same act.
Nah, you got. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, we didn't get the same satisfactions. We didn't get the same
satisfactions. You cheated. I cheated. Is that not the same thing?
But you know what I'm saying? But it might have just been wild. It might, you know what I'm saying? I might have cheated with somebody. It was okay. It was just something to do. But you went and cheated and you got smashed to death and you loved, you know what I mean? It's a difference. So
why do you say all of that? How do you know all of that? Like, how you adding all those adjectives to it?
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? That they're like saying, well, you a robber. I robbed the bank and you robbed the gas station. And you like, you know what I'm saying? The money don't add up.
Listen.
The money don't add up. You can't call it.
Say again. She is equally as responsible for her morals.
You're going to get federal time for robbing the bank. You're going to get state time.
Did you rob? I robbed. We did the same thing. You told a lie. I told a lie. We did the same thing. Is that not true?
It levels to it. No.
There are levels, and you can add all of that. We're starting with the ground level.
Right.
You cheated. I cheated. Is that not the same thing? You went against your vows to God to me. I went against mine to you. Is that not the same thing?
Nah.
Listen. I'm curious to see what everybody think about it. I just want to know: is that not the same thing?
It's not the same thing to me.
Why not? Can you please articulate to me why it's not the same thing?
Because we robbing, don't mean we don't say, you know what I'm saying? If you're a robber and I'm a robber and you're robbing random people, but I'm robbing millionaires. You know what I mean? We're getting the different, like, it's different.
The premise of it is we're both robbing, right? We're still both thieves, correct?
They're both thieves.
Okay. So we're doing the same act. It's just we're doing it at different levels, right?
Doing that different. So then she said she felt entitled. So you know what I'm saying?
That means I felt like I had a green light. I felt like nobody should have a problem with this because I'm paying all the bills.
But then you're one of the main people that say, you know what I'm saying, and you'll have an argument with any other person that feel entitled to something. You like people. This one of your arguments. People feel.
You're absolutely right. I told you I don't agree with Gabby. I'm telling you now that I don't agree with the way she was thinking then. Nobody is saying that two wrongs make a right. The question that was on the floor was, if I'm robbing and you're robbing, are we both not committing the same violational act? Not that either one of us are right. Not saying because I did it, I'm right. I'm just asking, aren't those two the same thing, the same act? Okay. So some folks feel like, nope, it ain't the same. And I believe it is exactly the same. You slap me and I slap you. We both wrong for slapping one another. It was equal. Now, your slap might have been harder, of course.
Huh? Hey, a slap for a slap is, you know.
It's right.
I can almost agree with that.
Okay, all right. So let's peel this back. We have someone that said if they were the same act, both would get the same penalty. Right?
Yeah.
Why are they not the same? Why is there not the same penalty?
The different levels to it. It's not the same penalty. It's not the same act. It's not the same aggression. It's not the same tactic.
If you go to jail for 20 years because you was robbing the bank, and I go to jail for 7 years because I robbed the local mom and pop store, right? We both go to jail? Did we both not suffer a penalty of going to jail, no matter who got more time?
Yeah, you're gonna different. You're gonna be different type of kind. You were robbing a store
We
with
talking about time, but are we both going to jail? Okay,
yeah,
so yes, all right, there is a difference with the Fed and the state. But let's say I stole over $500 from that other location, from the mom and pop. If it's over 5, I'm on Fed level now. So let's not play with it. You want to play semantics, we can do
now,
that.
not Fed level. That's a felony, but it's not Fed.
Well, it's a felony. It's the same type of felony, just like you'll get a felony if you rob the bank automatic.
Yeah, it's a federal case. So, but now, since we're talking about cases and robbing and stuff, you know what I'm saying? This YSL thing.
This YSL thing. What
Yeah,
about the YSL thing?
this YSL, this young thug case and stuff like that. So, and we still talking about morals versus culture.
Yes.
You know, so along with Gabrielle, Gabrielle say, you know what, I did the crime, I do, she come forward with it. I just don't think that it was just right for her to come forward with it, knowing that, now maybe her spouse agreed with it and said, you know what, like we'll
What's
do
your truth? I'm out here wearing dresses and heels. Why can't you tell your truth?
right. You know what I'm saying? So and so is Young Thug.
Is there a problem with that? No, I'm joking.
Right. So is it a problem snitching on somebody that wear dresses and heels?
So let's talk about that snitching thing. Snitching. Was he snitched on?
Yeah, well, a lot of the people, and some of them that we do know by name, but I don't want to mention name. But they took the plea deal. 2 of them didn't. They took the plea deal. So when you take a plea deal, that's in street culture, that's a form of snitching.
Okay.
Now they had so many charges against them, and like 50 charges didn't stick, and I think only 8 sticking at this point. But so to follow the case, and now people getting hurt, people getting hurt, murders, you know what I'm saying? The DA, they got all this stuff in rap music, and they trying to, and even in California just passed something this year, I think this month, saying that they cannot use lyrics in songs against
the case.
but that's not here in the South though.
Right.
That
happens.
Yeah, so but that's
progressive.
So for these guys, so how for the culture, just you personally, because you have young sons, would you encourage your son to tell?
Would I encourage my son to tell? If my son was involved in something criminal that he involved himself in, but he was given an opportunity to save some time off of his life by telling on others, would I encourage him to do that?
Yes.
I cannot say that I would encourage him to do that. I would say that I would want him to speak for himself about himself. So whatever his involvement was, that's all he needs to be on his involvement. Absolutely.
So the thing was, they were saying that YSL is not a gang.
Okay.
It's not a gang. It's not a gang. It's not a gang. It's almost a charity the way they want to present it. But then someone goes up and say, hey, you know what? Well, I was involved. You know what? He ain't not necessarily telling on them like that, but they say, you know what? I was involved in this gang. The other people say it's not a gang. He said, I'm involved in this gang.
Okay.
It's not a gang. That's so now you done messed it up.
Okay. Okay. So that individual who said, I was involved in this gang. If everybody else is saying it was not a gang, and only this one individual was involved in a gang that he's admitting, why are the attorneys not shifting that he is responsible for the activities associated with the gang activity that has been criminalized because he admits to being in a gang? He was the only one. He was the only one.
Well, it's a
Maybe
few
in his mind he was in a gang, but everybody else was doing a nonprofit.
Right, but it was a few of them.
This is what criminal activity does. There is no code. You would like to have a code. You would think that there should be a code. I don't think they have a code anymore. I think since Savage came into play and we started pushing that into people's heads, there is no code. It's really every man for himself, really, in that time. When we all get locked up, let one person say, okay, it's time for you to go. You're going to be like, nah, because I'm with my people. I can't leave them. You think that's what they're going to do?
Oh, hey, listen.
So you're going to get to being about the individual anyway at some point.
Hey, man, when you get to thinking about that's why I have to tell young people, for real, man, when you get to thinking about the luxuries of life, you know, the freedom to even make a mistake like Gabrielle made. You know, you can bounce back from that. You know what I mean? You ain't murdered nobody. You know what I'm saying? You ain't did nothing to really hurt somebody. But you can think about the freedoms of life, and you go and you get in there. These people talking about 20, 30 years. Hey, man, and you may have thought you was real. You may have. I mean, you really, in your heart and soul, you may
thought you was in something.
Man, you may have, listen. You may have thought you was that guy. It hasn't happened before. It hadn't happened, you know, and not in that instance where I had to go and face time. But you know what I'm saying? I'd have been, you know, like, you know, I thought I was pretty good with my hands. Yeah, I thought I was pretty good. I thought, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was gonna fight, punch for punch. I thought I can go with you. Then I seen somebody tear somebody out the frame one day. Then now they looking at me. It just got real.
I bet it did.
It just got real. And when things get real, you start to unravel. You're mentally tough.
Talk about it. When things get real, when the reality really comes to be.
Yeah. How mentally tough are you? How mentally tough are you?
So no, not just mentally tough are you. Who are you? You thought you was a gangster. What happened to the gangster? Who are you? Not just mentally tough. Who are you? You thought you was riding with something. What happened to you riding?
Oh, yeah.
So we fool ourselves with this street nonsense. Streets that don't really belong to us. Things that we really don't have, that we cannot possess. This is a very bottom level, surface level activity, because there is a government that really owns it. There's a government that's recording you. There's a government that's going to come back and snatch up all you think that you worked for. So what you really had in the first place. We gave you enough rope, enough to choke yourself. And now we got you and your money. So when reality comes to be, and this little game is blown out of proportion and lives are now at risk, now it's real.
Man, we can't give up these luxuries of life, man. Like these luxuries of life, man, people get to thinking about, you know what I'm saying, eating a good piece of pork chop, bacon. I mean, like, man, you will be surprised the things that go through these people's mind. Donuts, man. See, that's why they come in them little interrogation rooms and they give you these little luxuries and show you what you about to be missing.
What you gonna miss? This Krispy Kreme right here. You gonna miss this.
Yeah. Coca-Cola.
A cold one at your leisure. Just get it when you want.
Right. You know what I mean? You get these luxuries of life, and a lot of these young men, man, they just so, I think that they get caught up in wanting to be a part of something. Then you get a chance to be a part of something that's seeming to be bigger than yourself. Then you get caught up in that, and you will do and pretend and play the part as much as you can to keep this going as long as you can. Then it end up in a
It's so many things that we take advantage of that we don't consider to be luxuries. And like you said, a simple soda. You have Mr. Watts saying being able to wear different colors, being able to wear something other than a jumpsuit, being able to take a shower and sleep when you want. All of that is important. And those are just luxuries that we don't even see them as luxuries until they're gone.
Right. Until they gone, man. I see these guys, they be smaller guys, short, not so, short, a little bitty, don't weigh as much, you know what I'm saying? But they big on the street because they can carry guns. They can carry, they got wads of money and whatnot. And when you get stripped, like I said, when you get stripped of all of that, go back to what you're saying. Who are you really? Mm-hmm. See, you want none of that. See, all this was a facade. See, and you get behind these bars with some real killers. See, I'm a say a story with you that, I ain't gonna say it's me. I ain't gonna say it's nobody, but I'm gonna share a story with you. Then I know that we got to go. So we're gonna go ahead and get wrapped. I'm gonna share a story with you. One time it's a young man at college got arrested for attempted murder. He got arrested for attempted murder. Went and picked the guy up. Got him in the car with him. They supposed to be trailing these girls to the party. They get behind the girls, and this guy just out of the blue just stand up, just get out the car, to sit on the car window, and shoot the gun out the window. Boom! Just shoot the gun out the window. Boom! He get back up like, man, what you doing? He like, man, he just all crunk, like, crunk, whatever. So the girls, they speak it off or whatever. We can't find them no more. So they go back to the campus, the yard, see if they can find. Maybe they went back to the campus. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, they're on the campus and the police come everywhere. They get them, take them, lock them up, whatever. They get down there, you know what I'm saying? And they don't know what they're there for. Then finally they tell them that they being charged with attempted murder. They're like, whoa. Then buddy like, hey, and I didn't have nothing to do with this. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know he had a gun. He just shot, such and such. So like, oh, well, you got to tell the judge in the morning or whatever. So now, this young guy, dad, that he's locked up for the first time, but his dad currently locked up for attempted murder. So going to say like, hey, you're going to change your clothes, they're going to dress you out, whatever. So he's like, wow. So now his dad, and so in his mind, you know what? I got to represent. I can't go in here and be no punk. I got to make it to the judge in the morning.
Okay.
And so the little bailiff or whatever, they dress them out, tell them, look, when you go in there, you say, don't talk to nobody, don't say nothing to nobody. Just when you get to the court in the morning, you know what I'm saying? That's when you say, don't say nothing to nobody. So you get in there, they put them in the cell. So it's late at night, 1 o'clock in the morning. By the time they got them done and processed, butt on the bottom bunk, top bunk open. He trying to be quiet, step on the bottom bunk, try to get on top bunk, buddy hop straight up. Tattoos all over his face, look like a monster. Buddy say, what you in here for? And he's standing there looking at him. He's like, what you in here for? In his mind, he just think about, hey, he say, I'm in here for attempted murder. Buddy say, cool. Shook him up, me too. Now he got to get on the top bunk and think, man, I'm in here with some real killers. I got to go.
I didn't even shoot the gun.
He's some real killers. You know what I'm saying? So, and you will realize in these moments, man, I ain't built like this. I ain't cut like this. You know what I mean? So the main thing is I just would encourage each young person, each person trying to be down with something, call yourself down with something, man, check yourself. Know who you are. You know what I mean? Find some understanding with yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Every
And
group not be if you be a part of, but I know the money gets involved because we in this money, like we in this time where you gotta have money, or you irrelevant if you don't have a couple dollars. You irrelevant. People will erase you out their life. People will unfriend you on Facebook. They'll take you off their Instagram, take you out if you don't seem to have a couple dollars. But that shouldn't, you know, and I know it's hard when you're trying to find a means to an end, but sometimes find a means to an end and you go this route, it is your end. And you know, and you don't
absolutely.
have to fight another day. So
If I could add on to that, not just knowing who you are, but knowing who you're allowing to be attached to you, knowing who you're allowing to be in association with, so that when it comes down, or do you want to be standing next to this person if we're guilty? So, not knowing homeboy had the gun, not knowing how he act when he get crunk or get wired, all of that mattered. But now, because now you're in the hemisphere with them, now you're in the space with them, and nobody knows from a distance which one is the fool.
right, they don't. And I done been around some of these guys, and I can tell you, man, these are some pretty good guys. Some of them some pretty good guys. They not that. I can tell you, they not that. I'm scared. I know I'm scared. Some of them guys, they than me, and they definitely not that. But ever, you know what I'm saying? Hold them up in your prayers. We're gonna hold Gabrielle up in the prayer.
Absolutely.
I don't know who
Gabby is all right. She's all right. That's a grown woman. I think she's already made the money she need to make. I don't think she's gonna be hurt by this comment that she made. I don't think her husband even gonna care. I don't think it's gonna shake up their household not one bit.
Yeah, and I don't think Skip gonna be hurt. I don't think his household gonna be shook up either. I don't think
Even if he loses his job, his household won't be shaken up. We need to go ahead and let Skip take a break. Go on to sit down a little bit.
Yeah, Skip, come to do. We definitely want to do the show.
Come on, Skip. I dare you. Come on over here.
And Gabrielle too. You know, Gabby, you should more than welcome.
Yes, she is more than welcome. More than welcome.
Gabrielle more than welcome. But them fellows, the YSL and stuff. Now we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
We
They need to spend some more self-development time, get it together, and figure it out.
People talking over there. Look, I don't. We need can't come over here. Talking over there. No, that's a shame that we'll trust Skip before we trust the YSL members.
Because again, they're young and unguided. They are unbridled bunch. This is a different 21st century youth that we're looking at today. Skip is just old, and we can handle Skip. These little young guns, I don't know about.
Right, they're gonna get us all locked up.
Okay, get us all messed up in here.
Then, man, they gonna tell on everybody. So we can't.
We gotta get a code back. We gotta, as the elders, as the older ones in the community, the more wise, the more experienced, we gotta reach back and we gotta guide these young folks. They don't know, and they acting out because they don't know. We gotta pull back in.
Right. So look, man, I would want to appreciate. Hey, look, I appreciate everybody for checking in. If you checked in, thank you. We just getting this thing started back off this year. I'm trying to find a new formula for us to be more consistent at what we do.
Yes.
But I enjoyed shedding the light that we could shed. This is my this is the day. This is my sparring partner, people. Like, I want y'all to really understand. This is my sparring partner. We challenge each other thoughts all the time, all day, every day. It's no hold bars with us. Y'all think Skip and Shannon doing something. Y'all wait till y'all, just keep tuning in. And as we get more comfortable doing what we do, you're gonna see that it ain't no debate like this debate.
I mean,
yeah,
you want to witness. You would want to witness.
Want to witness. All right, man. So we appreciate y'all. We out.
All right. Good night.
The next time.